Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Jamie Dawn. I'm your professional psychic advisor, success coach, and evolutionary revolutionary. Today is Monday, March 13th, 2017, following a full moon in Virgo, opposing the sun in Pisces. And I'm not feeling as emotionally hungover as I was at the new moon 2 weeks ago. How about you guys? A little bit better, right? The full moon gives us an opportunity to release things. And with it being in Virgo, there was a lot of mental constructs and perfection and organization that was either released, or we released something that prevented us from having certain things in our lives that maybe prevented us from creating a perfect environment or what we consider to be perfection for ourselves. Which, I have to tell you, one of the biggest themes over the last few days and weeks has been this idea of our flaws, of perfection. Virgo is very discriminating, and the sign of Virgo has a energy to it around, let's get critical. That's the shadow side. But it's the motivation behind that criticalness and that critical eye is really so that we can bring out the best in ourselves, so that we can be in service of the greater good and in service of each other. And if you notice that over the last day or two, we're starting to make that turn where our mind becomes clearer. A lot of this foggy energy has started to lift. And what is coming up is we're revisiting some of our relationships. We're revisiting not just our relationship with ourselves, but also the things within ourselves that we're disowning, that we started to project out in our relationships from those that we have drawn to us. I can tell you that this being a real and raw video and moment, I have tried to record this particular week's video, I don't know, 10, 12, 20 times, and there's been an interruption of some sort of imperfection that has revealed itself. It could have been the dogs barking. It could have been that there was no sound in the first time I recorded it. It could have been that, what else has come up? My thoughts were all over the place. Well, you know what? We're all human. And there are some things that we all do really well, and there's some things that we don't do very well. And those things we don't do really well, we could call them our flaws. Now, one of the things we're going to be looking at this week is finding solutions to our hopes and dreams, and knowing what we want and how it shows up, and then how do we utilize our flaws to transform them from weapons used against us, or weapons used, there we go, there's the dogs, we're just going to keep going, or weapons used for harming another person because we were too afraid to own what these flaws were. And so we're going to look at how do we transform them into using them as tools. And it may be that we draw to us someone who's really good at something we're not as good at. And I'm just going to take the dogs barking as being confirmation of all of this. We're just going to go with it. I hope that you guys aren't too distracted by it. And if you are, let's use it. How do we use distractions as tools instead of weapons? You know, it's another good point in reminding that if we can go with the flow and we can allow the universe to guide us, we can make a choice moment by moment with how we want to respond. One of the things that I talked about on Saturday at the Mind Body Spirit Expo was we cannot control the outer circumstances. I can't control the fact that a dog is going to bark at any moment's notice unless I left them at home. And then I'm sure some other distraction would come up. But what I can do is control my response to it. And one of the things that I chose to let go of at this full moon was my ability to be easily irritated when I'm trying to push something out or I'm trying to get something done. Because I make a plan and God laughs. We already know that. And so if I am an expression of the divine, why am I not laughing? when the plans don't go as I planned. So letting go of that irritation, feeling what I feel, and then making a conscious choice of what I want to do with it. How do I want to respond to it? And so that is the invitation this week. The solutions will come up. And you will be able to get a whispering of, hey, I know what I've been dreaming. I know what I hope for. And I'm getting a little taste of it. So when you're looking for those solutions, you should find that your mind will be a little more organized, a little sharper, a little clearer, which is so supportive of coming up with solutions, because you're probably going to feel more grounded this week, which is great. Try not to put undue pressure on yourself or someone else when it comes to deadlines, when it comes to seeing the perfection in something that you're wanting. Maybe let the perfection be in revealing more of the flaws that we need to look at. And saying, okay, I'm going to trust in the timing, that when something comes up, that maybe it wasn't the right time. The videos I recorded before this one, whatever was said wasn't meant to come up and out. I'm just going to trust that. And I'm going to laugh at the dogs barking. I'm going to laugh at the fact that thoughts can be all over the place. Let's maybe bring in a little more laughter and not take ourselves too seriously this week, as we're also getting things done and finding solutions. So in the meantime, I'll leave you with the dogs barking and wish you guys a wonderful week. Come over to 1-2 Radio on Wednesday mornings, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. I'll be there taking calls. Well, in the chat room, I will be answering questions. And of course, you can always find me at jamiedawn.com. Sign up for my newsletter. And thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful week. I'll be back soon.